Okay, let me clear some things. Time complexity first. Okay, we will clear this one again. So what is time complexity? Normally time and space complexity are needed. See, what is a good program? A good program will have three properties. One, readability, that is, when you write a program, it has to be simple so that others, if they want to understand your program, your logic should be clear and program should be clear. So readability is the first point. Second, time complexity. It should be efficient. The program should run in quickest time. It should not take a lot of time. That is the second characteristics. And third is space complexity. You should take less space, as space is, you know, we don't have infinite space in our computer. The computer has the limitations. So your computer, and there are, and today's programs or computers, they run, there will be multiple, but the screen is not visible. Okay, screen is not visible, no? Okay, let me share the screen. Share screen, fine. Screen is not visible, correct? Okay, now I hope the screen is visible to you. Screen is visible. So what's a good program? A good program should be readable, time complexity should be less, and space complexity be less. What is mean by complexity? Complexity means how much time the space takes in computer when you run your program. How much time it will take, to run. If it runs in quickest time, that means it is more efficient. If it takes less space in computer, that means it is more efficient compared to space. So those things are important when you write a program. And why we then learn data structures? Now there are many ways by learning data structures. A program which is given with different sir, voice is low. Who is saying voice is low? Let me clear. Wait, let me check. Voice is my voice clear? Settings, mode options. Is my voice loud and clear? Is voice clear? Someone can reply. Is my voice clear? Okay, okay. Remember, you should be present at least 40 minutes plus. If you join the meeting and if you leave the meeting, you'll be put absent. Remember that. Okay. I have seen, I have warned already also that there are some students who are leaving the, meeting. Now this is considered as a regular lecture. So you should sit for the whole lecture. And all your log information, your joining time, leaving time, how much time you joined, all will be recorded here. I will show you the attendance sheet, today's attendance sheet. You can see that the time you join the meeting and the time you leave, everything will be recorded in our sheet, the attendance sheet. So so what is needed here? We need to time and space complexity. A good program will have uh, good readability, less uh, time execution time is less, and it takes less space. So in computer terms, we calculate all this time in terms of time complexity and space in terms of space complexity. So data structure notations, uh, we call it asymptotic notation. What is asymptotic? If you just read the asymptotic in Google, it says there is a line. There is a line and we will have a curve, and that curve will be parallel to that line, but it will not try to not connect to that uh, line. So that is how it is. But it is the curve grows compared to linear to line. So asymptotic notations are the expressions that are used to represent represent the complexity of an algorithm. As we discussed in the last earlier lectures, there are three types of analysis that we perform on a particular algorithm. What are those three types? One, the best case. Best case, suppose take an example. Take an example. If I have an array of 1000 elements and I want to search the element. If I get element in the first search only, that is, if array starts with 0 and the first index, if the element is present, that is the best case. Okay, so what is best case? Best case in which we analyze the performance of an algorithm for the input, for which the algorithm takes less time or space. Okay, then what is the worst case? Worst case in which we analyze the performance of an algorithm for the input, for which the algorithm takes long time or space. Suppose I am searching an element in the array. Uh, do I have any idea how to search? I suppose I'm not using any other algorithm and searching every element one by one. In that case, if I have array of 1000 elements and my element is present at 1000 position, so what is happening here? I will check the first element, second element. I'll keep on checking all the elements. So I'll visit all the elements, 999 elements, and at 1000 position, if I get the number which is matching, searching in array, then this is called worst case. So worst case is what? If I can find a element in a searching, an example is searching here, it can be sorting, it can be any other operation. In a particular operation, if an algorithm takes the maximum time, then that is the worst case. If at all I am searching and the element is not present, again it takes worst case. Why? Because it has to search all the elements. All the elements, it will check all the 1000 elements and compare with your input value, and your input value is not matching with any of the elements present in 1000 elements present in the array. So at last, comparing all 1000 elements, you will have a result saying element not found. Again, this is the worst case. Then what is the average case? The average case may be, suppose, how to find the average case? Suppose first time I find element, I get best case, maybe one or first or second position, and next time I'll check, I will get maybe 900 position or 1000 position. Okay, in a 1000 element array, and maybe later I'll find element in 100 position, 200 position, 300 position, like that. So average case is what? Average case I cannot get in a single search, single operation. So you have to perform a number of operations, say 10 or 50 operations, and find the average of all the time of 50 operations. That can be average case. You can do it for 50 times, or maybe you can search for 10 times. 10 times, maybe in one case the element will find on the first position, maybe last position, in between positions. You add all that and find the average. That will be the average case. Average case in which we analyze the performance of an algorithm for the input, for which the algorithm takes time or space that lies between best and worst case. We represent types of why this is okay. Types of data structure, asymptotic notations. What are different notations we use? We use the big O notation, omega notation, and theta notation. Okay, mathematically you will have a subject in next semester which is computer algorithm, where you learn all these things, but we should know what is the basic. So what is big O notation? Big O notation specifically describes the worst case scenario. Okay, understand this. Big O notation. Big O notation specifically describes the worst case scenario, and we always have to consider the worst case scenario when you write our program. Because if I write a program algorithm, and if I only consider the best case and average case, and if at all worst case happens, my program might crash. So always we should be ready for the worst case. So our program complexity, time complexity and space complexity, both we should consider for the worst case. For the programmer, as a programmer, we should consider the complexity for worst case. Then it will run for all the cases. So what is big O? Big O notation? Big O notation specifically describes the worst case scenario. Second, omega notation. Omega notation specifically describes the best case scenario. And theta notation, this notation represents the average complexity of an algorithm. Okay, a big O notation. Big O notation specifically describes the worst case scenario. It represents the upper bound running time complexity of an algorithm. Let's take few examples to understand how we represent the time and space complexity using big O notation. Take an example, O of 1. What is O of 1 here? It's a constant. It's a constant. Kaushik Bansode, your voice is low. What about others? My voice is clear. Ashwit, Ashwit Bhatt. Others can reply.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Clear.
Audible. Yes.
Okay. Maybe the other side students, you just check your settings. Maybe problem can be with your side. I think my voice is clear because I have checked it. Okay. So O of 1, it's a constant. Big O notation, O of 1 represents the complexity of an algorithm that always execute in same time or space regardless of the input. Suppose, now take an example. Suppose I have 1000 elements. I have 1000 elements in my array, and I am reading the 10th element. 10th element, suppose my array name is A, and 10th element means if it starts with 0, it's a ninth index, 0 to 9, ninth index. If I'm accessing number, now take this, it's the same thing here in example. O of 1 example, the following step will always execute in the same time or space regardless of the size of input data. Suppose accessing array index integer num array of 5. In a array of 10 elements, if I access array of 5th element, if the size is 10, how much time it will take? 1 unit. If array size is 100, still it takes the same unit. If array size is 1 lakh, still accessing array of 5 will take only one step. So this is what O of 1 example. Suppose it cannot O of 1. Why you call it O of 1? It's a constant. It can be O of 1 or O of 5. Suppose to read this, if it takes 5 seconds, 5 seconds. If the array size is 10, still it takes 5 seconds. If array size is 100, it takes 5 seconds. If array size is 1 lakh elements, still to read a single element in array, it takes 5 seconds. So this is constant. We normally represent this with O of 1. Okay. So big O notation, O of 1 represents the complexity of an algorithm that always execute in same time or space regardless of the input data. Then what do you mean by O of n then? O of n. N is the number of input. As my input increases, if operations increase, suppose operations comparing or inserting something or accessing element, they are the operations. In this accessing array is what? Accessing is the operation. If I am searching will be an operation. Now O of n, if my input is n, if n increases and operations increase, then that is linear, which is called O of n. Okay. Big O notation, O of n represents the complexity of an algorithm whose performance will grow linearly in direct proportion to the size of the input data. Suppose I am finding an element in array of 10. So maximum, what is the number of operations I have to find? I have to search an element. 10 elements I have to find. I have to compare with 10 elements. So if an element is present in 10 elements, I will get the result. Otherwise, I will not get the result. If array size changes to 100, then what will happen? I have to compare my input element with 100 elements in the array. So now what is happening here? As array size is changing, my comparison operations with my input value with array elements is increasing as n increases. If initially my array size was 10, so I have to compare 10 elements in the array. If I increase my array size to 100, I have to compare with 100 elements. If array size becomes 1 lakh, then I have to compare all 100, 1 lakh elements. If in worst case, my element presents at the 1 lakh position, then meantime I would have compared all elements before that element, isn't it? So O of n is what? Big O notation. O of n represents the complexity of an algorithm whose performance will grow linearly in direct proportion to the size of the input data. As size increases, the operations will increase. O of an example, the execution time will depend on the size of array. When the size of the array increases, the execution time will also increase in the same proportion linearly. Traversing an array. Traversing is visiting each element in the array. Suppose array size is 10. If I want to visit 10 elements, uh, array size is 10. I have to visit 10 times. If it is 100, it will take more time. If it is 10,000, it will take more time because I have to visit now 10,000 elements. If it is 1 lakh, it will take more than this 10 elements or 10,000 elements. So this is linear. So this is an example of O of n. What are other operations? Here big O notation, O n raised to 2. N raised to 2 represents n square, the complexity of an algorithm whose performance is directly proportional to the square of the size of the input data. So this is one more example which I have already seen. If I have two loops, for loop I equal to n, there may be the second loop j equal to n inside loop, then this takes n square. O of n raised to 2 example, traversing two-dimensional array. Other examples, bubble sort, insertion sort, selection sort algorithms. These will take n square algorithms. Okay, searching sorting, we have unit 4. Again, we'll discuss that in the next unit. So we have seen this graph, no, this diagram earlier. There was a site called bigocheatsheet.com. Okay, so if I have to draw a diagram to compare the performance of algorithms denoted by these notations, then I would draw like this. O of one constant will be always less. Suppose I have 10 elements and it takes 10 seconds. If for 1 lakh elements, again, if it takes 5 seconds, then that is called O of 1. It is constant, it will never change with n. Second, O of log n. O of log n is less than n. Less than n. So it is better than constant. O of log n. Better than O of n. Then O of 1 is less than O of log n. O of log n is O of 1. O of n. See, this is n. Linearly it is increasing. And above that we have O of n log n. Then next to that we have O of n square. O of 2 raised to n exponential, then O of n factorial. This O of n factorial example is your Towers of Hanoi. Towers of Hanoi algorithm takes O of n factorial if you do that with recursive. Remember it. So this is this is worst case scenario. We call it big O notation. Now what about omega notation? Omega notation is what? It's a best case scenario. In best case scenario, omega notation specifically describes the best case scenario. It represents the lower bound running time complexity of an algorithm. So if we represent a complexity of an algorithm in omega notation, it means that the algorithm cannot be completed in less time than this. It would at least take the time represented by omega notation, or it can take more time. So omega notation is what? If this is omega notation and this is actual time, your actual time for n value will take minimum time. Minimum time is omega time. That is the best case. It might take more time, not less than this omega notation. So that is the best case. The best case is represented by omega notation. Then we have theta notation, which is average case. This notation describes both upper bound and lower bound of an algorithm. So we can say that it defines exact asymptotic behavior. In the real case scenario, the algorithm not always run on best case and worst case scenarios. The average running time lies between the best and worst case and can be represented by theta notation. You can see this. We have lower bound, line, and we have upper bound represented by theta. Lower bound represented by theta and upper bound represented by theta. In between, upper bound can also be represented by big O notation. In between, we get the curve, the time or space complexity of a particular algorithm, that is considered as theta notation or average case notation. Theta notation is used for average case notation. So that is all about this time complexity. Normally space complexity is not that much considered in today's terms, because space, we have a lot of space. Earlier space was very much limited. Today we have 2 GB and 4 GB and 8 GB of RAM in our computers, but still space complexity depends how much memory you read. Okay, like if you are defining array of 10 elements, the space complexity is 10 memory locations. 10 memory locations. If the integers, an integer takes 4 bytes, then 4 into 10, 40 bytes that it takes. And if it is if you define an array with 1000 elements, 1000 into 4, 400 bytes. So that is the space complexity of that particular algorithm. If you are defining writing a program with dynamic linked list and all dynamic data structures, then as and when you define number of variables, the time complexity will change according to the number of elements which are present in the algorithm. So there might be some questions in unit test on these O of n, not theta and best case and average case. Mostly, as in computer terms, we only calculate worst case scenario. So O of 1, O of n, you should know what is O of n, what is O of n. Suppose I am finding an element in a particular array, just accessing an element. I can access in a single go, like if array size is A of 10, A of 20, A of 30. Okay, in single operation I can access this element. This is called what? O of 1. Whereas if it is a linked list of 100 elements and I want to find say 50th element, in linked list I cannot jump to 50th element, where in array I can jump A of 50 directly. Whereas in linked list I have to start with the first node, visit all the 49th node, then go to 50th node. So it takes n. The complexity will be O of n. Traversing a linked list complexity is O of n, whereas traversing or accessing a single element in array is O of 1. So like this, you have to understand these things. Is that okay? Now the next term is, so we had the left thing. We'll cover that. Maybe have you understood the singly linked list algorithm? I given one program on singly linked list. So let me show you what is there in Moodle. Moodle I have uploaded. So Moodle, I uploaded. These are basic things, basic of data structures. So theory, this is the put. You check the syllabus and read all the other things. I uploaded a stack application, stack and queues and all. You go through the PDFs, link list, W link list. So both the PDFs are uploaded. Maybe in practical part, data structure lab. Okay, data structure part, I have uploaded these assignments. Stack implementation. We implemented stack, isn't it? We have implemented stack, so that is there here. So you have to implement this thing: push, pop, and display and exit stack. Other stack and queues, I'll also upload those assignments. As MS is there, I'm not I'm not giving the assignments. Let your MSc complete, then I'll put these assignments, and time also will be extended. Single linked list. Single linked list program I had written earlier in the last lecture, which is to create a list and display list. So what was left here? You have to add two more functions, that is inserting a node in a list, single linked list, and deleting a list. And you can display all the time, always, because display is already present. So you have to write a singly linked list assignment program, which is like this. Write a C program to implement singly linked list with the following operations. What are operations? Creating a singly linked list, which is already there here. Inserting a node in the list, that is not there. Deleting a node, that is not there. So both insert and delete functions you put in this C program, complete that with switch case. So these things are already there. Creating a link list, displaying a list, exit. These things are there. Insert and delete, put in your program. This program will be complete and upload your assignment. Okay. So this part is there. Uh, so already we know what is single linked list and doubly linked list. Now I will suggest you a website. Okay, you visit this website. What is the name of this? The name is visualgo.net. The name is, okay, I'll type the name, notepad, not notepad, wordpad. So what is the name here? Name is this. https visualgo.net/en/lst. Website name is this. You visit here, visit this site, and there are simulations given for linked list and all. You can visit that list and you can understand how linked list works. If you always remember, you should remember that you should visualize the problem first. If the problem is given with linked list, then you should visualize it with a diagram. Then you start writing program for that. Directly should not jump to write program on the paper. You should draw nodes, find operations, meeting and all. Then you can write program. So if you visit this site initially, this will okay, I'll just enter it again here. See this. Initially if you visit, you get this message. Okay, what it says, linked list is a data structure. You can see this. There are simulations on linked list, 5 modes, motivation, list ADT, array, the implementation part 1, fixed implementation. We have a lot of information here present. Okay, you have to go through it on your own. For timing, what I will do, I will only show the linked list. You visit this site, maybe there is a queue present here, queue stack, then doubly linked list. Okay, all the things are there. Okay, let me start with linked list first, single linked list, then we can visit all those things also. Linked list is a data structure consisting of a group of vertices, normally called nodes, group of nodes or vertices, which together represent a sequence. Under the simplest form, each vertex or node is composed of a data and a reference to the next node or next vertex in the sequence. Try clicking 77. Try clicking 77 for sample animation on searching a value in a single linked list. Now you can see this. In this particular list, I have numbers 22, 2, 77, 6, 43, 76, 89. Now how we are going to search this? If I say search 77, after click search 77, what will happen? Okay, first it will search for the first node, second node and third node. We have 77. So the result is returned here. In the right side, you can see the code also. If first, what will happen? First, the program will check if the list is empty. If list is empty, then it will return not found. Otherwise, what it will do? The index is 0. Index is 0, and another variable is taken, pointer, and pointer temporary variable is taken, and that is assigned to head. You should not change head. If you change head, what will happen? I will not. I cannot come back to head again. So take one more temporary variable pointer as a temp and assign temp equal to head. Now I have the starting address of the first node in temp. I'll visit the temp first node. If the number is value is not matching, value is what? The searching value is 77. That is not matching with 22. So I will change temp equal to temp of next. I'll go to next node. I'll check again value. If it is not matching, I'll visit another variable, another node. Like on, I'll visit all the nodes, compare my value with the value present in the node. If it is present, I will exit. Okay. So here, while temp of item not equal to v is value, index plus plus temp equal to temp dot next. You keep on moving it. And if at all, if you visit all the nodes, what is the meaning of it? And you go to last nodes next, which is null. If temp becomes null, that means value is not matching anywhere here in all the nodes. If value matches somewhere in between, you break the searching operation, come out. In that case, temp is not equal to null. Temp equal to something, some node. Then check value with that nodes data. If they are matching, you will come out and return its index. So that is given here. If the list is empty, return not found. Otherwise, index equal to 0, temp equal to head. While initially, while temp not equal to v, visit all the nodes. If you find it somewhere, temp equal to null. That means you are not found. Return not found. Otherwise, return index. As index is starting with 0, here in our case, index will return as 2. Temp is 2. Okay. Now I'll press escape. Now there are options here, left hand side. Is the screen visible to you, everyone? Someone can answer. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. Now initially what I will do, here you have options. Create a linked list. I'll say create. Create what? If I say create empty, I'll click empty. What will happen? Empty list is created. Empty list is created. It's not visible here. Create empty list. Create random. Random means okay. Random is there, but random number of nodes. Okay. Once again I'll show you. Create empty. What will happen here? It's not visible here. Okay. Font value 22. That was the last one. Create empty. So nothing is there. It's empty. I'll say create random. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Random number of nodes are there. If you want to search here, search what? Search. You want to search 89? 89 is present here? No, not present. I'll say go. So search the first element, second element, third element. Now temp is moving and index is also moving. Fourth element and fifth element. Now temp becomes what? Temp becomes it will go to after this is null. So temp becomes null. So you can right hand side you can see this. If temp equal to null, return not found, isn't it? Now what I will do? I will close this. I'll search it again. Escape. I will say search. Now I want to search what? 76. 76 is present here. 76. I'll say go. What will happen? Initial index is 0. Index is 1. Temp is moving. Head and tail are not moving. Only temp is moving. You can see this. Now temp is here. Temp is the value v equal to 76 of data. See this. Temp dot item not equal to value, you will move. If it is equals, you come out of the while loop, and I will return what? Return index. What is the index here? Index is 5. If I get the result index, that means element is present at that index. What is index here? This is index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. This is fifth index. Now in our case, the program has returned index as 5. Now temp not equal to null. If temp not equal to null, that means temp is pointing to some of the nodes. When temp equal to null, temp will null when it checked with all the nodes and it is moved to the last node. After the last node, here is a null. If temp becomes null, that means value has not matched any of the nodes. If temp is not null, that means temp is pointing to some of its nodes, any of the node. So what node it should be? Whenever we match the value input with the nodes value, that time we come out of the loop. So that time temp equal to not null. That means that particular position, in this case, the index is 5. The index is 5 is returned here, return index, which is 5. So at that particular position, value is present. Okay, we'll consider one more. Now you can insert element. Suppose I want to insert. Where you want to insert? Insert at the head, starting position. I'll say insert. What value I will insert? I will say I will insert 10. 10. Go. What will happen here? Head was here, tail was here. So you can see this. Okay, we'll run this again. Run again. Okay, see this. Initially head was here and tail was here. A new node is created. A new node is created. New node is created, and new nodes of next will point to. See this. We'll make it slow. New node is created. Its next will become point to head, and head will point to new node. So this becomes like this. Now you insert one more element. Maybe we will insert at where? Insert at end after tail, last element. Suppose I insert say 100. Go. Sorry, only values between 1 and 19 can be taken. Okay. I'll insert 95. Go. Hmm? This head was here. So new I have as I have two pointers, head and tail. Head is pointing to the first node and tail is pointing to the last node, and I want to insert after tail. So it's a single one operation. What is one operation? In a single operation, O of 1. Now what we have to also consider what is the time complexity. Already it was the tail was pointing to last element, so only tail of next becomes the new node, and its next becomes the new node next will become null. So in single operation we could perform this, so that's why the time complexity is O of 1. See this. So new node is created and tail of next becomes new node. That's over. So O of 1 operation. Suppose I want to insert where between 6 and 43, maybe 43rd position I want to insert new node. Okay, how it will be done? So what is the index here? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth index I want to insert say 40. Okay, I'll insert this 40 here in between. Insert at specific position. What position? At fourth position. At fourth position I want to insert 40. Okay, I'll say go. See this. Initially we'll have a pointer, head will be there and tail will be there. We have pre-pointer, so we will go there and we'll go here. So previous 43rd previous is okay. We want to insert here. New node is created. It is put here, and previous pointer is pointing it here, and the new pointer is pointing here. Okay. And what is the time complexity here? The whole process will take O of n, because I have 1000 nodes, and suppose I am inserting at 500 position. I have to traverse all the 499 nodes, and at 500th position I will insert the element. So traversing and finding element or inserting will take how much time? O of n in linked list. If you are inserting at first position at head, it will take only O of 1. If you are inserting at last element tail, it will take O of 1, because only one operation we need. We don't have to traverse all the nodes. So visit this visualgo.net/en/list. You have other operations also here. Suppose what are the other things? We have W-link list. So what is W-link list here? W-link list will have address pointing to previous and next also. Now why? Now head is a pointer. Head is just a pointer. It's not a node. So pointer head is pointing to first position, first node, and tail is pointing to the last node. Whereas every node will have previous pointer as well as next pointer. In the first node, previous pointer is null. Next pointer is pointing to the node which will have where the value is 80, and the last node where tail is there, last node next will become null. Last node previous is pointing to 29th node, 29. That is node 1, node 2, node 3, third node. We can see some create random. So 4 nodes are there. Suppose I want to insert a load. Insert at first position. Value is say 26. Go. What will happen here? 26. See this, new node is taken, head and vertex. Vertex is node. Node is pointing to 26. Both node and head are pointing to the first element. Head will change automatically. Okay, see this. Insert at head to 85. So 85 is inserted here. Right hand side, you can see this the code, how to code it also. Okay. Now we'll also visit, we have W link list here. Click this W link list. And I have also linked list here. We have stack. So what is stack here? Stack with linked list it is. Okay. So create. I will create random fixed size. I'll say I'll create with 3 nodes. Go. So this is stack. Okay. Head is pointing head, and now as stack will have only one element, no, top of the element. So elements inserted at will be inserted at the top, and also removed from the top. So I'll insert, I'll push. Push is inserting. Push how many elements? Push 53. Go. So new element is pushed, taken, and that is made as top of the stack where head is pointing. So you can make it as top here. Suppose if I insert, now we are at linked list. We have to be at stack. Stack push 38. So it will move. What is there? Sorry, the maximum size is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maximum size is 7 in this simulation. We will stack. 3 elements are there. I insert 72. Go. So new node is created, and the previous pointer, which is head or maybe top, will point to that new node, and new node of next will point to head. In this way you can manipulate pointers and make it like this. Suppose if this is q, so this is a q, head is front and tail is front and rear. So if I say nq is what? Nq is inserting element. If I insert say 57, go. Where it inserted? At the rear end. And how much time it will take? O of 1, because head and rear both are, it is only one operation it will take. I have already rear pointing at the last position, so inserting it will take only O of 1 operation. Q, NQ. Suppose NQ is always inserting element at the rear, and if I say DQ, Q, and if I say DQ, what will happen? See this. DQ, head and temp both are pointing it here. Head will point to head of next, and we will just free the temp. So we will remove the first node. If empty, do nothing. Otherwise, temp equal to head, and head equal to head of next, delete temp. That is how it is done. You visualize these pictures. See the code right hand side. Check the simulation. Okay, I have written a program for linked list, which is creating a list, displaying a list, and exit. You have to add insert and delete functions, methods to that program. Complete that program, linked list, single linked list, upload it on the Moodle. Understand how this works. Any questions, participants? The site name is visualgo.net/en/list. Now this is randomly I have found this one, but you can visit many sites and videos, and you will get a lot of information on data structures. Participants, any questions? Any doubt? Any questions we can ask? All these things will be a part of your ISC, MSc. ISC 2, tomorrow I will announce what will be the question pattern, and what is the we will have questions on unit 2. Questions on unit 2 for ISC 2, because ISC 1 I have taken on unit 1. So ISC 2 will be on unit 2. Okay, any questions? Sir, can you upload ebook of data structure on Moodle? Okay, I will upload. I'll try to find the ebook ebook on offer syllabus. Okay, and I'll try to upload it. Anything else? Any questions? Anything which you have not understood? See, first unit is completely over. Second unit is also completely over. Okay. In the third unit, we have seen what is single linked list, what is double linked list, circular linked list, stack and queue implementation using linked list. Okay, maybe pictorially I will show you how it is. File, new, okay, create. Okay, node. So what is linked list? Linked list is what? It is set of nodes, because in linked list is a dynamic data structure. Okay, so we will not create all the nodes, all the elements directly. As and when we need elements, we take memory from our computer and we assign element to it, and we make that element part of our list. Okay, now it is done. I'll show you. uh, we have linked list. We have two parts. Okay, what are those? One is data, second is pointer. One is data and second is pointer. Suppose this is like this. It says if it is single linked list, we have data and the other pointer pointing to next element. So this will be pictorially, it will be like this. Pictorially, it will be like this. That is, this is data. This is pointer to next node. Okay, I will group them all together. I will group them all together, make them group them. Now I can move it. This is one node. This is one node where we will have data, pointer to next, and pointer to next. That is how it is. Suppose initially when you create a list, what will happen? Initially when you create a list, we will have a pointer. We have to have a pointer which is maybe a pointer name is either list or maybe start. Say this is a pointer. This is a pointer pointing to somewhere. It's a pointer, or only you can show the arrow. Okay, now I will group them together also. Okay, so initially when you create, I have a start pointer, say start or list name. Okay, this is here. So this is start. So start is pointing where? Start will be pointing to null. Start is pointing to null, because initially nothing is there. But when you create the first node is created and the address is given. I will take it as a temp, some variable temp equal to this node is created, and the new node address will be temp. Then what you will do? Start equal to temp. Start equal to temp. If I can assign, make it start equal to temp, then start will point to the first node. And when you add one more node, okay, what will happen? A new node is created. And the address of that will be there with it, returning value. How we will create a new node? I will say, if you see our program, or maybe PDF I have. Okay, I written a program for this. No, a new node is created using C program. Okay, new node is created using a malloc, and the pointer will be there, and we will make. Now what? Now start is pointing. Here. Start. Okay, start is pointing here. I can remove this. No start. Control Z. What has happened here? insert text box. It is difficult to draw all these things here. Start. Now start is pointing here, first node. When you add new node, what will happen? Start of next will become this one. We will have start of next will point to this here, and the new node of next will become null here. So always when you create a new node of next equal to null, and the last value becomes. Now if you add one more say node, what will happen? A new node is created, new node of next equal to null, this becomes null here, and so we will write null also. Maybe I'll take null also, insert one box, text box, and I'll make it null. So when you create a new node, what will happen? A new node is created, Control Z. A new node is created, and new node of equal to null, and we will put some value here. Okay, and now start is pointing here, and it is not null. So I will take a temporary variable temp equal to start. So I will check if temp of next equal to null, no. Again temp next I will say temp equal to temp of next. I'll keep on moving this temp. Once temp comes here at here, temp of next equal to null, yes. Then what I will say, temp of next equal to new, and assign it here and create a list. This is how single linked list is created. Okay. Likewise, we have W linked list. I have two pointers, front and next, previous and next both. It is 12:30. We have next lecture. Okay. What I will do, I will stop it here. In the next lecture, I will write a program for W linked list, maybe, or maybe on queue and stack using linked list. That is left. Okay. I will write it. I will show the demo. You have to understand it and be prepared for the exam. Exams you will have only 3 questions. Okay, about this single linked list, double linked list, and circular linked list. Any questions, participants? Any questions? If anybody has any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, you will stop it here. Stop. I will stop it here. Next lecture, we will discuss all these other things. End.